Hello minasan, Hikiyami Moriko desu, and welcome to another indie game. This one's called SOREKARA End of a Journey by the developer Kalechips. You may remember the developer Kalechips by other games I have played, such as Shutdown, A Prayer for the Winter Gears, Melting of the Winter Gears, and Midnight on the Milky Way, right? Those are one of my favorite visual novel games. This game is also for the Yaoi Game Jam 2023, and I think that's the first time. I don't think I have ever played a Yaoi game or a Yaoi Game Jam game, so it's gonna be an interesting first experience, right? Let's just play the game. Also, Sorekara, for those wondering, means like then. I think the best example I can give of is I invited my sister to have lunch. Then Sorekara, her husband came too, right? I think that's a good example. Don't quote me on this. I'm not an expert in the Japanese language, right? Let's just start the game. To the skies we go. This game is supposed to be like a sort of sequel to my favorite game, that is Midnight on the Milky Way. So I'm kind of excited because that's one of the first games I play in this channel that actually make me feel like I was playing something really amazing. Not to downplay other games, but I really like that game. It is said space is an impossible cold, dark, and lifeless expanse. But people who say such things have never really seen it. They've never seen the phantasmal meadows or the light dances of the schools of comets that fly by so fast you would miss them if you blinked. They never heard the rumbling across the galactic rails or the babbling of freshly sowed souls coming to their own true fox of memory. Such foolish people could never see it, because what is essential is invisible to the eyes. They never truly been there, and they must certainly never have heard a story like this. You can see like a small, like, I think this is a comet, right? It can be a tier 2 maybe, I don't know. And we are back in a train, and this is like a really beautiful train. Good gracious, this is a really beautiful train. I'm gonna up the volume of the game a little bit. I don't know if you guys can hear it properly. It has a really nice background music. The trolley was filled with laughing co-excitement. The fascinated passengers pressed their whiskers to the windows to catch sight of the comets outside. The whiskers, they are cats. I also want to mention the beautiful graphic interface. Tails switched back and forth, and glints of silver tickets flashed between the crowds. Do you guys remember the tickets? If you do not, go play go watch the other videos or go play the games yourself first, because I think it's gonna be like a good idea to play or watch the previous games of this developer before playing this one. At least the Midnight on the Milky Way, right? Crowds of bodies as a young girl with a basket between them. The girl with a flower. One for you, one for you, one for you too. Gifts were exchanged for polite thanks you as the passengers marveled at the fantastical expanse outside. Far in the distance there was a crack as a purple shock of lightning flew from the dark of a nearby comet, whose overtook the car. There was warmth, there was light, but the only sparks of life in the bustling trolley was the pitiful creature curled up in the farthest corner, gloved hands in an iron grip around his knees. Man, are you okay, buddy? He was still, except for the small tremors that came from the car's natural rumblings along the tracks, or when another jovial passenger bumped into his side. His eyes were fixed on the floor, in the spots visible between people. The happy thing grew as he shrunk further into himself. Go ahead, have one. A small hand reached out with a paper flower pinched between the fingers. It's a kitty cat. The flower was identical to the many contained in the girl's wicker basket, but the craft machine was remarkably regardless. The bud of the flower was kissed a brilliant crimson. Looking out, the other passengers had their own crimson buds. It was like a garden for the dead. The girl. Go on, take it. No need to be shy. The creature, huddling into himself, watched without making any movement. The brilliant crimson flower was pushed forward ever so slightly. Where are you going? Are you going far away too? If you are, then these flowers are good. They won't die. Oh, right. Yeah, that makes sense. I made them myself, see? I paint them so nicely, you don't have to be afraid. They are only paper. Yeah, it makes sense giving paper flowers, they don't die, right? The stranger looked at the girl with a harrowed face. His mouth hung open slightly, but not a word escaped. Perhaps it had been so long the thing forgot how to speak. His arms loosened around his knees, uncurling from his cocoon. Are you going far away like me? Not really, the stranger. Oh, it also blinks, right? I think the blinks are synchronized. Let's see. Yeah, it's that's kind of weird, but I like the blinking. You know, I really appreciate animated things in visual novels. The background also moving. Sorry for breaking the immersion. I just have to talk about everything on the games. Oh, me and Mama and Papa and everyone, we got a long way to go. We're all going to the great beyond. Do you have a ticket? You have to hold it tight, or you can't get there. That's what I heard. Yeah, that's true. We have problems with that before. You don't talk a lot, do you? Sorry. She was so bold, it was difficult for the stranger to reply. His voice came out crack as if the words had been abandoned on a dusty shelf and he was just now pulling them down. She sighed in annoyance. She was so lively for somebody fresh off the mortal coil. Her form was confident and colorful. The girl knew herself completely. If you're going to be mousy about it, I'll just... no, wait, Tentatively, he reached out. The girl's eyes widened as she saw the skin between his glove and coat was threaded through with black tendrils. Oh, I see, yeah, that's true. The marks made their way up his arm and disappeared beneath the cloth. Inky black tendrils, darker than the darkest nights, stings of something sinister had embedded itself into his skin, and it was digging deeper than she could see. But still, his hand was outstretched. Oh, train sounds. Hurry up, it's time to go. The trolley was slowed to a stop, the voices simmered down into anxious whispers, and the crowd timidly began to filter through the door and into the great beyond. The motorman, a level-headed beast, nodded at each glinting ticket before permitting the passenger to leap. White cat after white cat quietly disappeared. Hurry now. The flower girl's parents stood at the end of the trolley, beckoning her to come with them. It's time for me to go. Make sure to hold onto your ticket, alright? She quickly pressed the flower into his hand. Not just that, but she set her basket down in front of him before turning and rushing after the remnants of the crowd. The last of the souls filtered out the trolley, the splattering of dropped flowers across the floor, the only evidence of their journey. The bright clamor that was bordering on the tiffany had not been sucked away, just empty air and the lightless hum of the electric lights, and the music stops to signify that. Nice. And here is the motor piece. It's a mole? It looks like a mole, maybe. Are you here enough, son? The motorman stood patiently at the front. The last passenger shook his head. It wasn't his time. Ah, still a way to go then. Better get comfortable. The motorman resumed his previous position at the wheel. The stranger turned to the window, where the last of the white cats could be seen, flickering in and out, surrounded by halos of light, heads bent forward in prayer. They formed a line into the cosmos, waltzing off to the tracks and into the unknown, with steady steps that betray no fear. The colors of the dresses began to fade and the lines of their faces melted away. The farther the souls walked, the more they looked like little white candles until the flames so tiny in the distance became pinpricks, and then... nothing. Nothing upon oceans and seas of nothing. The stranger brought the flower up his nose. He heard that flowers smelled nice. But there was nothing. He could only feel the stagnant end with the electric hum tumbling through it. One day, I'll be a candle too. I'll burn bright and disappear like that. It was a wonderful thought, to go out with a halo just the same. But looking at his wrist, the one bleeding with an inky black darkness that could not be scrubbed away, he knew that was a ridiculous wish. He took at his sleeve and leaned back. Out of heaven and into his own personal hell. If you were to look up into the sky that night, you might have been able to catch a small streak of light and the softest whisper of wheels turning, weaving itself between clusters of stars. This one. On and on it went, the car that delivers souls to the great beyond, never slowing down or missing a stop. The dependable, the inevitable, the mostly unseen, with its last living passenger and his basket of flowers that would never die. Chapter 1, and we have like a cigarette. Sunrise Angel. You know, I don't approve of smoking, so you guys know. Don't smoke, it's bad. Sunrise, Saint Cajetan's Crossing. A place of partings and prayers, it appears it was once a place of worship, but the hands of space and time eroded his borders until it became nothing but a pile of rubble. The place was repurposed by the Bureau as a stop for various vehicles along the galactic railways. It is a quiet, somber place, but it's rumored that visiting it will bring good fortune, and here it is the Beast Machine, right? It's cool. I like this kind of thing in games where they like give you small tooltips with like lore from the places or things you're visiting, right? I feel like not a lot of games do this recently. How do I click here? It moves. You guys are not seeing it. Let me move a little bit. Sorry about that. You see this? It moves when you put the mouse over it. Really nice, right? I like that. Sorry, I'm gonna be blocking that. Stepping off the trolley and onto the path, the travelers was greeted with a decaying ruin, bathed in sunless light. The motorman who had left him asleep in his seat could be seen squatting near the edge of the rubble with another uniformed worker. A chill ran through him. I wonder why. It's too cold. Okay, it's because of that. I tried to stay up, but the ride was too long. It's cold now. I shouldn't have fallen asleep. He looks really sad. I feel kinda bad. He clenched one shaking hand across his chest and the other. Nothing could be done about the other. He had brought a basket of flowers with him, and something in him refused to let it go. That's what's called a gift, right? I can just leave it behind. Yeah, you can just throw away gifts or like sell gifts that people give you. That's not nice. If I do, it'll be like they were never there at all. The chill resurfaced. It was perhaps better to walk around and return to the ghostly memory of the night before. Oh wait, I can. Is this point and click? Nice. I love me some point and click. Okay, let's start from right to left. Right. Guess there's something else I can interact in here. The lamp in the dark and the rubble was dotted with peculiar handmade fishing poles. Oh yeah, I see them. The poles were held up by the humble piles of stones. The string was knotted to the ends, the line cast far, far off into the ocean of space, with no movement besides that of the solar wind. I saw something like this in a mission once. In a mission? Or you're like a hunter or something? Like a police officer maybe? They are for catching trout. But I thought you could only catch those in water. I haven't seen any trout out here. Is there something else? Well, a lot of cats in here, so maybe they want some fish. The traveler kneeled to look over the edge, but alas, not trout, just darkness with a few specks of light. Alright. Let's see this one. These are like signs. In contrast to the ruins behind them, the signs look comparatively new. The lettering was scratched and the paint was chipping around the top, but they still bore the Bureau insignia with a mildly warm pride. They read Ganymede 500 nouns. Gemini Strait. Please have your ticket ready for departure. Okay, so these are like two. Isn't Ganymede like? I don't quite remember, right? I heard this name before. For Gemini, it's pretty obvious, right? May fate lead you to the light. I may the light have mercy on you. I've always wondered what that meant. I'd rather have mercy while I'm alive. Maybe long ago it was a magnificent place. Maybe there were sermons, maybe there was singing. The walls were painted in gorgeous murals of saintly beings, and the windows certainly caught the light with wondrous colors. But it was clear that everything described was swept away by some lost incident, as tragic as war or mundane as the passage of time. One could only stand and wait for answers that nobody remembered. Both the glory and the downfall have been wiped from memory. You know, after the recent hurricane, my house looks kinda like this. So I guess no one will remember this house. There's nothing else to interact except the boys, right? Sitting at the edge of the galactic shore, the mother beast from the last trolley and a man made of soot made of soot were chatting happily to each other. It seems to be a riddle of theirs, established after many years on the rails. Ah, they are having a nice time. I like this. With like some soup, maybe? Coffee? With their lunch tins situated between them, the two other men sat comfortably watching the stars. Strangely, they ignored the benches in favor of squatting. I guess after being like sitting on the work all day, you don't want to be sitting in your like lunch, right? Finally woke up, did ya? Sounds like those sweet dreams touch you like a hack stack. Tragedy. So it's the comet speeding. Hurry up, pup. What strap's been pulled, hey? I don't have any bootstraps. And the comet did fly overhead, missing its sanctuary yonder. As well as they can be, I say. I'm trying my best with the voices, I'm sorry. It flew as brilliantly as any comet could, force sparking away as every comet should. Ignore him, pup. This is a literally pain in the arse, asses. I'll do. Oh, we have more interaction. We have like, is this shrimp? Is this shrimp? I'm allergic to shrimp. Why you do this to me? Okay, we can interact with him, with this, with the soup or the shrimps. Okay, let's go right to left. Yeah, with talking walrus in his audience. Oh, it's a walrus. Okay. The sooty figure was far stranger. He was dressed in a well-ironed, if not well-worn railway uniform, his scarf tucked into his crisp collar with care. Oh, I see. Nice. He seems to be higher level than this guy, right? He's like the machine, and this is like something higher in rank, right? Notably, the mouth of his sleeves was as sooty as the ground below him. Flickers of light could be seen flashing where his mouth should be. He brought chunks of coal from his lunchbox on his face and shump. They disappeared with a spark. Nice. I like this character. It looks really cool. Okay, let's go with that. What is tea? Soup, maybe? Long nights are poison, pup. So we bask in our remedies. That poisonous further, hehehehe. The walrus took a swig from one of the bottles and cloud steam escaped his whiskers. Instantly his face became serene. Can't yet brand yet speak and spend it. I like that character a lot. Sorry, I don't make a league on sense. Here's take a swig and count your senses. I like this one too. This is very nice people. I hope nothing bad happens to them. Okay, I'm gonna interact with the shrimps. This is cold, right? But, well, I guess walrus, it's shrimps, I guess. The juxtaposed tin boxes were overflowed with strange little morsels. On the left, there was a bundle of emptied shells and skewered fleshy blobs. On the right, coal. Hey, pup, want a bite? I'm not hungry. Set yourself. As the walrus barked, the sooty creature joyfully popped a lump of coal into his mouth. There was a flash of light from his seams and a small puff of satisfaction. Okay, so maybe they are not shrimps, maybe this is just weird stuff. It definitely looks like shrimps, or maybe it's just like a sausage with a weird end. Yeah, I'm gonna go with that. Let's start with the walrus. The walrus's dark twinkling eyes scanned the strangers up and down. His gaze rested on the basket of flowers, and he chuckled softly. Aye, paper flowers. Had it as a kid. My mom wants to seek for working, so we'd sip and make paper flowers day in and day out. Oh no. Sadness. With flippers, I'll tell ya. Blister and blue, but I can hate it. So, no, I can hate them. A bit. It's hard to do voices. His face remained peaceful even with such a painful memory. It's painful, right? But it's I guess it's also happy. I'm sure his mom is not longer with him. So when you remember someone that it's not here anymore, yeah, it's sad because they are not here anymore to be with you and make new memories, right? But it's important to remember people you love because that's the only way we can keep them alive, right? So it's sad and happy at the same time. It's bittersweet. There's something else to this. Oh, okay, I guess it was it. Yeah, did I miss? I can't bother them any longer. They are good people, I think. Yeah, I feel the same. Sitting around like that seems fun. Okay, I don't see anything else. I can. Oh, wait, it was the space. Oh wait, I didn't read that. Let me read that again. On that mission, the man said the troll was a delicacy. I wasn't supposed to, but I tried it. I couldn't stop throwing up that night. That's how it is. I don't know if I could take any more delicacies. Yeah, not everyone can eat everything. So if I interact with things, another time they say different things. Places like this are recorded very well. At most, the borrower writes down a few lines, but I can picture it just from that. People, places, me. It all ends up with as a few lines. Aren't we all end as a few lines, right? I think just very little people will go down in history, right? As much as I would like to make something of my life, I don't think anyone is gonna remember me if I'm going tomorrow. Gemini Strait, huh? That's far away, I think. Wait, is Gemini... Wasn't Gemini of the other game? What am I saying? It doesn't matter where I go, or when. I won't be meeting that so-called light, so there's no point in thinking about it. Okay, let's just look at the stars. And finally, there was the glittering sky. There were countless railways streaking across it with more souls flying along than one could imagine. Is she still up there? No, I watched her disappear. No matter how hard he looked, the flower girl would never reappear. There was something farther beyond the stars, something nobody could see, but even so, the stranger tilted his head upward. Skies like this were all the same. There was simply no end in sight. SOREKARA End of a Journey. Was that a masked individual? What is happening? Why are you crying, man? Don't cry, please. Or is it just like the shadow, like the eye bags in your eyes? No sleeping here. The exhaustion was becoming unbearable. The motormen were tending to their trolleys, and there was a sign that they'd be leaving anytime soon, so the stranger had restored to wandering in circles on the shore. The sky had remained in the same twinkling dark the entire time. Here, it was easy to believe that the sunrise will never come, and that the trolleys will never depart. But there was one foreign element, the scent of something burning. What is that? A thin strand of smoke was twisting through the air. Twisting, turning, tumbling, from the end of a cigarette in the mouth of a man watching the false horizon. Hands deep in his pocket and body completely still. Sounds like someone that's very cool. His weight rested on the remains of the building behind him. The image was so tranquil that the wanderer felt he should even be there. His presence was like smudging your thumb across a fine oil painting. Time came to a halt. Every brush stroke was perfectly in place. Then, the smoking man's eyes flickered to the side, and the wary stranger became a part of the painting as well. The man's hand went not to the box in his breast pocket, but to the inside of his coat, where he produced a little metal box of cigarettes. He cracked it open and held it out. What does it say here? Wash what? Wash with, I guess. He cracked it open and held it out. A peace offering? A welcoming gift? It was a familiar gesture to strangers still failed to fully comprehend. But the image of the girl on the trolley surfaced and his hand went to the basket at his side. He stretched out his arm just the same. Ah, that's kinda cute. A bud of paper pinched between the fingers, the petals paint red and bright. For me, the soul. For you. The man's like a daisical. That's a word you don't hear a lot. Smile broke into a stiff laugh. He gripped his teeth down harder around his cigarette so he wouldn't go flying off in the middle of his feet. To think fortune will come my way now of all times. That's real sweet. Thank you kindly. He plucked the flower from the stranger's hand and after a moment of thought, tucked it behind his ear. Oh, that's kinda cute. The stranger watched nervously, taking the cigarette after a bit. Underneath it was a slip of silver, the same as the ones he'd seen on previous ride. So he's going far away too. How do I look? He's still talking to me. Everyone's talking so much this entire trip, yeah. That happens when you're not used to people talking to you, I guess. What does he want? Am I supposed to answer every time? I don't have anything to say. This is hard. Way too hard. You look red. Come on, man, you can do better. By the way, is this like Sakura I've been watching? Well, thanks. I think. Here, let me give you a light. Hey, giving flowers is good. Giving smoke, no, it's not good. Don't smoke. Just or do whatever you want. I'm not your mom, right? It's just a suggestion. Following the lead of the other man, the strangers leaned against the crumbling wall and took a good deep inhale. The basket of flowers was at his side. Now the flowers are going to smell like smoke. What is it supposed to be? It tastes dirty. It burns a little. You're doing alright there, bud? This is like a fireplace. That's a good description. Well, exhaling is not normally helps. Why don't you give it a go? This is the same. It's in my nose. What a kind of place you have to come from not knowing about cigarettes. A healthy place. I figure with your looks, you'd be a fan for him. Where did you come from? That was a difficult question. How could he answer in a way that made sense? Even the memory of the place was enough to freeze him over. I'm not from anywhere. But instead of pressing further, the man simply let the moment pass and blew out a sleepy puff of smoke. His eyes gauged the horizon. It was a look the stranger had seen many times in wayward passengers, one that was not quite sad, not quite happy, just a little far away. Same here. Pretty lucky that we should meet, huh? I met a few people out there, they are plenty nice, but I got places to be. He got himself off with another deep drag. Well, Mr. Nowhere, you'll let me call you something, won't you? I don't have anything to say. I can't use that name anymore. But he doesn't seem to mind whatever I say. And I won't see him after this, so it doesn't really matter. You can call me Bash. Quite an interesting name. Pleasure to meet you, Bash. People call me Ross. Name goes on a little longer, but it better cut short, don't you agree? Like Rose? Roselia? Rosette? Rosamia? There's a lot of names. It's fine. So harsh, what? It wasn't so bad, watching the sky with somebody you never meet. It was just then, in that pocket of time before the sunrise that might never come, that he felt he would like to be that way forever. Sitting, smoking, you can quit the smoking, talking around things carelessly. Even if the tea was like licking a fireplace. Maybe you can share a cup of tea instead. Where in the space within the sea of the stars and deep blue, there was a crack where Bash could see time tickling away. The silver in the cigarette case, it was like all the others before. It was a mark of something. So you're going far away. That I am. Don't really know what it means though. It's not like they gave you a pamphlet. You? I can't yet. Well, that's good. I'll tell you how to spend your time elsewhere. Guys like me are no good. No, you're good. Oh, me? I read it. It's a kind of cute expression. I like it. Oh, me? You're a good person. I'm a good person? Hey, maybe I could even be the best person? Probably not. Whatever you say. Yeah, I don't like smoking, but I have met really nice people that smoke. I just wish they didn't, right? Because it's hard to be, physically close to them. But yeah, smoking doesn't make you a bad person, definitely. It's just, it's like something people use to deal with their problems, right? And I'd rather be with people that drink, because yeah, people that drink also smell bad, but it's not as bad as smoking. Whatever you say. Ross tossed aside his cigarette and bent down to side by side with a bash. He dabbed his temple and with a knowing grin, tilted his head to the shore. Oh, you can see a reflection of something. That itself was inexplicably. The sound of wave was coming from a place with no water, and dipping your hand in will result in nothing more than cold hair. That's weird. Why do I see here? I'm trying to make this out like... For some reason I think it's a woman, but I might be wrong. This looks like hair, but also like wings. This kind of looks like a hand. The red looks like a dress to me for some reason, but maybe I'm missing something. But there was a face obscured by the reflectors. Stars. There was a nose, and eyes, and mouth, but they were out of place due to the shifting hair. It all swirled together to create an unrecognizable impression mist. It's a face. A face. I really don't see a face. Something's wrong with me. I've been wondering about this the whole time. A person? Nope, better. An angel. See? Yeah, okay, yeah, I see. Okay, I was right. He gestured to the mist around the mess of features was a faint white, and above the head was what might be a halo. So this? Bass furrowed his brow. I don't understand. Am I supposed to be looking at something specific? So I was thinking, it's probably reflected from up there. He pointed to the wall behind them, smiling more than ever. Hidden away, out circuit-like, ain't that something? Just a little mystery for the two of us. You can look at it fine here. But it's all mysterious. Didn't it make you curious? Not really. Listen up, tough guy. Say it makes you curious, go on. So curious. That was way too easy. I just did what he said. I don't see the problem here. His face is too much. You know, this guy kinda reminds me of an old friend of mine. We are not friends anymore, but it kinda reminds me of him. Well, do me a favor and spin around 3 times. Hop on a leg. Give it a little song and dance while you're it. Are you having fun? Just trying to see how gullible you are. Gullible, you know. How well you can bark. Woof. Don't do everything someone tells you to do. Oh dear. You better watch yourself on those rails, friend. You could fall in with some very dangerous crowds, yeah. I don't trust you completely. Anyhow, up to Daisy. Suddenly the man bent his knees and held up his cupped hands with an expectant look. In response, Bash's hands went to the basket another time. What? No, you're going up, come on. Be a dear and take a look for me, won't you? You could look for yourself. I couldn't, unless you think you could lift me up a good 6 feet. And I'm sorry to break you to you, Tiger, but you look like you're struggling to lift the basket of yours. Now, quit being ornery and hop on. As if anticipating a burn, he instantly stepped into the other man's hand. Is this gonna become like Uncharted gameplay? Hey, you know you're light as a beer, right? Do you eat at all? I try not to. What? No, that's not good. It's one thing if you don't get money, but it's another if you don't do it on purpose, yeah. Eating because you have the money, I can't relate. Push me up more, I can't see it yet. I was telling you something important. Okay, yeah, I can see the reflection now. A face peeked out to meet Bash's own. Actually, there were 2 faces. Tucked away behind the stone was a person bent over in prayer, and above them another was extending their arms with their lips nearly pressed to the forehead, like an angel kissing a praying man. It was completely untarnished, the rest of the building was in shambles, but this spot alone was safe, the colors as bright as the day it was painted. The image felt like something he shouldn't see. The hands around the face made his chest hurt, and the distance between the two was eliminated with a kiss. But still, somebody had painted, and they had placed it here to could see the sunrise. You find anything up there? It's here. It was just on the inside. On the inside? All secret like. No way, it's a secret data picture, ain't it? No, it's clean up here. I don't see any scratches or dirt. Yeah. Well, tell me about the angel. It's the one with wings, right? Who decided that? And that thing on its head makes no sense. But he's wearing red like you, and the other one is wearing brown like the other guy. If they knew what angels were really like, they wouldn't be so impressed. They have feathers like a bird, and this golden thing on their head. The halo. The halo. And there's a normal person too. They seem to be very close. So it is a dinner picture. Ross, what's so good about angels? You really ought to ask? Actually, I hadn't thought that far. But if you meet one, you're blessed and have lots of good luck. Unless it's an angel of death, of course. If you meet one of those, you... Well, that's what they say. It doesn't matter at this point. Even if it's an angel of death, I don't think I would mind. Well, we're already dead, right? People spend their whole lives looking for miracles. It will only make sense to come across something like that eventually. I don't have any place to complain. What's one more tragedy? Well, that's kind of depressing. Just being able to say, I met one, will be enough for me. You're easy to please. Yes, because I'm such a good guy. You know, I have something that I really can't trust people that say they are good all the time. It makes me, like, worry about them. What was that? From the wall came a sharp scratching sound and several coos. There was the distinctive ruffling of feathers, and Bash fell back in surprise. Ah! Two white birds burst from the wall and flew over Bash's shoulders. What does this mean? As they passed, he could feel the feathers brush the sides of his face. He saw white and then glittering sky, and then he knew his body was crashing down. Yeah, oh no. Bash! Splash into the not water. There was the unmistakable sound of water despite nothing but cool air meeting his skin. Underneath was the depths of space, but somehow he didn't fall through. Bash sat on the edge of the universe, the red paper flowers knocked over by the commotion sinking into the sound of the shore. Hey, are you alright? I was worried you'd go spinning off the space. Flowers, they are. The flowers the gear had so lovely and craft were being carried away. I mean, it's kinda sad, but I'm sure it's a beautiful sight. Some were even sinking beneath the illusionary waves, drifting off into the dark until they disappeared from sight. The flowers, the cats, everyone and everything, they fluttered into the dark, leaving Bash behind. He turned over to catch the falling buds, but Ross's footsteps made him stop. Just leave them be. Don't want you falling in too. They were a gift. Look about a second, why don't you? Bash lifted his head and he saw a brilliant, impossible sunrise. Out in that abandoned little stub between nowhere and nothing, the sun rose the glittering ocean of stars. It didn't make sense for it to happen. Perhaps it was a mirage. Time here was a mere suggestion. But no matter how impossible, the sun still rose, and two travelers watched as the light blanketed everything in a beautiful fresh glow. Every crater was illuminated, every scar was uncloaked. The air around Bash shimmered as if it was water catching stars. For the first time, Bash was battling late. Beautiful. I haven't seen this happen before. I mean, I didn't think it would happen. Were you looking this whole time? I was thinking this will be a nice place for a sunrise, but if I had to say, it was probably an angel's doing. False oceans, false angels, false sunrise. A man who would believe it all. The whimsical talk was difficult to stomach. But somehow, you know, maybe it was an angel after all. That's the spirit. Ross pulled the flower from behind his ear and held it out. The last of her gift. The rest had fluttered away. You can keep it. You sure? It seemed important to you. It was a gift. It's supposed to be giving away, I think. So you can have it. It's like Christmas Day for me. Christmas? You really did come from nowhere. Come on, let's get you out of there. With one hand, he stuck the flower into his pocket. With the other, he offered assistance. Out of the ocean, back onto land. The face of the angel sparkled more than ever in the glow of the impossible sunrise. SOREKARA End of a Journey. Oh no, I feel things are gonna go down. Lines eroding. Lines eroding. The body was eroding. Without a body to contain it, the XXXX was pouring out. Rivers and lakes and oceans of XXXX, it's a 4-letter word, poured off the body and into the hair. The hate? No, there was even her, just nothing. So much nothing that sounds could not travel through it. That XXXX was crushed into a fine powder as soon as it bled out. It's not blood. Crushed, absorbed, withering away. Blown up by hairless wind. A whistle of pain squeezed out of the XXXX and died, before it was even born. There was a ferocious chill that tore away at the dust of the remains, but he could not feel it. No, just nothing forever. Just a sensation on the body that wasn't there anymore. He was bodiless and voiceless, but he could feel his teeth and tongue and the XXXX that poured between them. What happens to a voice that has nowhere to go? Because of its place, he knew. It makes circles in the sky forever and ever, circles of sadness that nobody sees. Help me! One terrible cry followed another. Bass threw himself off his seat and fell back down immediately, and his legs gave way. The sound of the floor. Is there a storm? No, not another storm. I just passed down one. The sound of the floorboards, that creak of the wheels, the grain of metal against metal clashed horribly with a harsh crack booming right out the window. Everything was sapped in electric purple light before sinking into darkness again and again. He'd woken up to a terrible thrashing. The panicked traveler struggled to stay in his seat as the car thundered and screamed. A rain of snapping came against the window behind him, and he saw blistering hot bullets of shattered meteor pelting the glass before burning away. Burning brighter and the darkness, over and over. It's cold. In the ribbons of light he saw his glove. It pulled itself nearly off his fingers. Black rivers in his skin. Blood like the dream he kept seeing, like the thing buried at the center of his chest. And from the rivers XXXX poured out. Help me. Help me. Help me. Somebody. Please. Another bolt of lightning hits the rails, and as the briefly blast, Bass saw a hand reaching out. Who's? Wait, I'll call the last stop. God, you're shaking yourself to pieces. Just sit tight, okay? Through the rapturous dim came careful steps, 1, 2, 3, careful, careful, through the storm. The sound disappeared when the car shook and returned with his safe to move. Bass sat fearfully trying to judge the distance, but the shield took him again, and when he saw the fingertips reach the square of light from the window, he found himself scrambling forward to catch them. Wait a minute, I'll come to you. Stay right there or you'll hurt yourself. But the stark and freezing traveler still threw his hand forward and made contact. His glove had fallen away someplace during the turbulence, so that there was nothing that came between them. Bass threw off the inky black rivers that would up his wrist and into the palm of his hands. He knew how he should find a glove and cover them up. He pictured that sickness somehow crawling from him till this kind person would grab his wrist and sat down beside him and the meteor spelled the ceiling. He took off it, but he could move the way he wanted to. Shaking and confused, he searched the other man's hand with his fingers until his desperation he brought the hand up to his face and stayed there quietly as the storm continued. Kinda like the angel, maybe. The chill began to melt. The movement all around his calmed, and miraculously the thundering of the rails faded away as he followed the sounds of life in the hand. His thumbs moved to the wrist and he met it with a slow, steady beating. There, it's just a storm. A fierce one for sure, but the driver said they aren't dangerous. A light show at the most, it's nothing to worry about. Look there. Ross made a sound and Bash glanced across the car to see one of the windows had been cracked open slightly. A few meteor pellets fell through the crack and fizzled brightly on the ground below. See? No worse than a bee sting. It's all bark. It's pouring out. Just a little, it's not so bad. It's pouring out and I can make it stop. I get cold all the time, and I'm tired, but I can hear it. There's a sound in there. You mean my heartbeat? The pelting of the meteors and his heartbeat both come together in a steady rhythm. The wide expanse of dark that was once pouring out and felt little more contained, at least in the hand of the stranger. Sorry. Ross, you know the angel we saw. What about it? Is that really the way we look to you? Do people really think angels have wings and halos that will fly around and give blessings? I don't understand at all. Who decided that? Who told that lie? It's not like that. That place you call heaven. It's colder than you can imagine. You've been all lied to. The angels you believe in never existed. Bash, what are you? I got thrown away, Ross. When an angel doesn't do things right, they get thrown away. Just like people. There aren't any wings or halos or blessing or heartbeats. It's just cold all the time. The words came tumbling out. The angel's hand spoke so much in his entire life, and now his voice wouldn't stop. So much was pent up from the years in captivity. He was overtaken by bitter memories. The steely commands and faraway looks, an overwhelming sense of loneliness became angry tears in somebody's hand. The strongest sensation of all was the moment he was tossed away. It was as if a knife had cut something out of him, and the wound was pouring out ever since. Sorry. I wish I died back there, instead of this. Hey, listen. There it was, the same steady beating. Even with the car being tossed about, it stayed the same. The angel waited. What do you think about that, huh? Sounds pretty real, but that's a lie too. Cause somewhere my real body is 6 feet under. There wasn't a drop of bitterness in his voice. It was as if his mind was made long ago, long ago, or as if he was talking about someone else entirely. With the way his mouth twitched, it looked like he could even laugh. I'd always heard stories about what happens when you die, but I never thought it'd be like this. It's not that bad. Yeah, I guess if you're gonna die like traveling in a train on space, I guess it's a nice way. Even if the trip is long, even if angels don't have wings, it's not that bad at all. I don't gotta live anymore, and I get to keep my heartbeat too. And if that helps someone, then I've done at least one good thing. Bash's eyes turned up and he saw the man was looking back at him, half his face illuminated by the dissipating storm. The car was now as soft purple as the lightning strikes continued to hit, albeit gentler, with the ear-splitting cracks reduced to a whisper. His expression was the same as when they first met, calm and without judgment. But Bash thought of the rubble of the previous stop and how the sunrise had washed over it, how it was beautiful and how much it looked like a graveyard. Don't say things like that. You can just laugh, not after all that. I can, because I got to meet an angel after all. I'll tell you, it's like Christmas Day. It doesn't matter to you what kind of angel I am? Nope. You really are a good person. You say it, I'll believe it. The man reached his arms around the angel and then he was all around him. Bash suddenly became aware of how cold he was with the warmth, how much he shook in the stillness, how empty he was with the echo reverberating through him. He knew he was empty, but the lack of distance made it difficult to tell what belonged to who. Pouring in, pouring out. Lines erode but held in place. Somewhere, from the pocket perhaps, a gentle melody played. After the storm, the weary traveler let his head fall forward and looked soulless in the borrowed hairpin. Chapter 2. Phantom at Noon. It's only Chapter 2. Man. Light poured from the windows along with the delicate scent of flowers. Everything in the car was bathed in a gentle glow. This is more beautiful. The driver at the front was crackling to himself softly, and his only two passengers were spending the ride relaxing in the sun. It was an undeniable old arrangement. Every day, the two would play cards or stare out the window and eat their meals at a distance. One man on either side of the car. Two men eating lunch in a car in a train car, 6 feet away because they are because this is a yaoi game. But come time for bed, Bash will walk up wordlessly and claim some part of the other man for himself. His arm, back, knee, whatever it was, he threw his head down on it, refused to move until his 8 hours were up. He wallowed up in his fist, sounds like a dog to me. His fist and squeezed his eyes shut so it looked like he was eating something sour. He never let out so much as a whimper like that. It was a completely odd arrangement, but Ross hadn't pushed him off yet, so it continued. This feeling is pretty familiar. What's it? It's like when you give a dog a chicken leg at the dinner table and they take it as an invitation. Yep, that's what it is. Yeah, it's exactly that. Me, owner of like 8, 9 dogs, right? I do sure know about dog stuff. Practically ignores me the whole damn day, and then crawls back when he needs something. Even a dog won't do that. That's a cat thing. Yeah, that's more of a cat thing, that's true. I forgot the voice I made for this character. We'll be making a stop. That wasn't that, right? We'll be making a stop for maintenance in the time, passengers. Until maintenance ends, you'll be free to wander as you wish. You heard that, Mr. Cat? We have to run around all over with Sooty over here greases his wheels. No response. Bash's mouth was pulled out just around on Ross' half-asleep leg. This guy's ridiculous. Hey Sooty, give me the whistle yank again. I bet you nickel he won't wake. A nickel for a whistle! Ha 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 ha! I'm changing his voice every time. I'm sorry, I don't know how to make voices for characters. Once more, the whistle blared. The result was just as expected. Through galactic storms and creaking wheels, Bash always slept in the deepest when attached to him in some way. The night terrors hadn't returned since the night of their meeting. As long as you got some peace, it's alright with me. But damn it, don't scrub with your face so much, you're gonna get wrinkles. Leaning closer, he could see through the strands of hair and swath of darkness tendrils that was a light, line connecting one eyebrow to the other. His eyebrows are connected. I wonder if he knows that. Suddenly, the trolley screeched at the stop of any poor passenger enjoying the day was thrown off their seat and onto the hard wooden floorboards with startling force. Ah! And so the star-crossed comets flew into space, signaled with a view. Dear Lord, how about a warning next time, yeah? In due time, it was said, toss all the wake sleepyhead. Oh, we finally get to see like a complete view of the angel. Morning. Good noon to you, Mr. Cat. How's your nugging? I will let you down face first thanks to our host skills at the wheel. My nugging is sleepy. An artist with words, aren't you? Swaying on his feet, Bash reached out to the glove hand to catch Ross asleep. What's it now? Please, let me borrow this. My arm? Somewhere in the back, Suda was snickering to himself. Dear Lord, I've gone too far. He doesn't just think he gets the dinner, now he thinks he gets breakfast and lunch too. Totally shameless. Quick, Ross. We'll shake the guy off. Alright, but you gotta bark for it. Woof. Are you gonna fall for that every time? Oh, you really have no shame at all, do you? But I do. I have a lot of shame. Look, Bash, I was just... I'll stick a suck in it, Sooty. That was sticking thy were cast. The candle's flame was sure to last. And with that, the strange motorman scuttled away with a puff of soot behind him. What a weird guy. It helps us to say things normally, but he's always spouting nonsense left and right. And then there's you, worrying me all over the place. Hey Vash, you gonna let go of my arm anytime soon? Sleepy. I guess that's a no. Hands still in an iron grip on his sleeve, the angel's eye flutter close as they enter a restful slumber. Get up already! It was a completely odd arrangement, but the days had become so peaceful since their meeting, neither one should argue the results. Who's that masked individual? I'm wondering. Noon, middle of baby's breath. Because of the shifting nature of the fields, this area can only be entered by accident and thus is not properly documented. Travelers have reported seeing ghostly figures wandering the horizon. In more extreme cases, recreations of bygone memories have lured travelers deeper into the fields. It is suspected that the area is not a physical place, but instead its own sentient entity. And do we get another exploration? And they have like a nice smoke. The curtains of Endless Night had transformed into something else entirely. The chilly winds became nothing more than a warm breeze, and the pinprick of the stars were replaced with a spray of baby's breath. What's baby's breath? Is that a flower? It's probably a flower, right? Sitting on the top of the trolley with the visible sun beating down, Ross took a deep drag of fleshly lit cigarette. He held it to the motorman. Want a puff? He was met with a small wave. Suit yourself. Looking up, there wasn't a cloud in the sky. There weren't any buildings around either, just a small dot that might have been the trees. The distance made it impossible to tell. The wide open space combined with the absolute soundless created an unexpected feeling of unease. Just as it seemed the sunrise would never come at the previous stop, here the night was all too far away. This place is putting me in a bad mood. It's a bunch of grass, Ross. No need to get to work. Why are you talking to yourself? But the silence and the cigarette weren't doing him any good. Here, things were a little greener, a little softer, but they still carried the same empty, out-of-place feeling. Like if you were calling out to someone, they would never answer back. Just a voice on the breeze with no place to go. There's a point in thinking of it, there never was. No bones, no dust, I doubt the feel is there anymore. Well, that was Bash. The melancholy I was cut off short by a yelp from down below. Ross learned over in an instant will suit that. I love the name Sudat. Like Sudat. It's like Sud hat or like Sudat. Sud hat, I guess. Because it has a hat and it's made of soot. So it's Sud hat. Offered nothing more than his usual relaxed crackle. Underneath their feet, Bass was shuffling through a cloud of bobbing soot. There were small sparks of fire lighting in their sparse high-pitched, early familiar crackling. Well, I'll be damned. Sudat. Sudhat. Sudat. I just gotta call it Sudat. I started calling that. You never told me you had kids. Not Kim, but sorry, that's not the voice. What is the voice? I forget every time. Not Kim, but competitors might comment. As though I like kings, my friends work where my hands cannot reach and my eyes do not see. Absurd. The strange motorman made circles in the air with his finger. Faster and faster he went, and miraculously the gaggle of soot creators below made rings in time. He drew his finger up farther with a flicker of his wrist. The soot fog freeze and around Bash, who stood petrified. His fingers produced a snap and a shock of light that commanded the crowd to scramble away. Under the trolley, in the through of the windows, and of the side they were leaving, Bash is standing awkwardly in a puddle of soot. Oh, that's real impressive. So you are the boss of those little guys. The boss of bosses. Although the burial does not compensate me as such. They never do. So even so, he has his own little tragedies. Pretty much plump comet. Bash finally found his place on top of the trolley alongside the others. He brushed off the sides of his arms, nervously searching for the sealed suit, exhaustion still wearing his face. And there it is. That was scary. Hopefully that scare woke you up a little. Hey, aren't you warm? You're blown up in the cold like we're still in space. I'm cold. It's practically summer out here. So that gets to wear a big coat, why can't I? That's because Sud is a weirdo. He gets to do what he wants. Also, he's the boss. Dare you question the boss of bosses? Yeah, the boss of bosses. Is that how it works? So if I become the boss, supposes I can wear a coat anytime I want? I think I understand now what it is I must do. At times like this, the angel's exhaustion will disappear to reveal a mischievous smile. Even so, he had to take a moment to parse the situation, but when he did, he simply nudged Rust, who in turn gave Bash's forehead a small flick. Not screaming aloud. Finished with his scolding, he passed the cigarette to Bash, who took it without thinking. I feel like you're like kinda of a bad influence on Bash. It took only one puff for Bash to pass it right back. After some thought, the question finally came forth. So Bash, where are you going? Where? I mean, I'm heading off to this great beyond thing. Sori here is driving, and you... don't be like that. I don't mean to imply you aren't welcome. It's just, you know, the trip is gonna be pretty long. Isn't there some place you like to go? Something you like to do? There isn't anything. Once again, there was a sad expression like a duck in the rain. His arms instinctively wrapped around his knees, and he looked as depressing as the night the two first met. Realistically, they will have to part at some point, but seeing Bash go blank made it difficult to ask any questions. To him, any such discussion stung as bad as the moment he was tossed away. I'm sorry, Bash. We'll talk about it another time. Hey, maybe on this trip you'll find something you like. How's that sound? Not. The weight was finally lifted, or at least temporarily starved off. A light flashed behind Bash's eyes, and he turned to speak at the sudden realization. There is something I like. Oh, that's great. I like sleeping with you. Oh my god, this is a PG-13 video. What? The comments are flying rather close now. I mean, well, gosh, that's sweet, except you can just say stuff like that. Did I do something wrong? No. Just, people get the wrong idea, it's all. I didn't lie. Sure you didn't lie, Bash, but how do I say it? We're gonna get a post-mortem heart attack like this. I really did pick up an angel of that. But damn it, if you don't look sad. You know what? It's no problemo. What's a little skinship with friends, huh? Two friends sleeping together because they are gay. I was overthinking. A bit, and then to the moment of truth. You know, it's kinda shameless. Not shameless, it's kinda a shame how two men can, even if they are gay or not, it doesn't matter, how two men can sleep together without people thinking it's weird, right? Maybe we're just friends, maybe it's really cold and we have to stay warm. There's nothing wrong with that, right? The moment of truth. Then, we are friends? We're not? Sherry just stood by. It's been so long since the comments have given me a light show. What joy indeed. I feel like I did something wrong. Just only the natural part of your own heart. Wayward comet, such is the way of things. I let you drool my leg all those nights and you don't even call me your buddy. That was what I get for being easy. You're I'm sorry. You're easy. I gotta compose myself. I refuse to be surprised by anything that comes to your bio starting now. Peaceful days like this had become routine. Laying on the top of the trolley with good company, good weather, and not a worry in the world, it felt overwhelmingly luxurious enough to give the smoking man a stomachache. No using feeling sour, no using going back. The scent of flowers made his mouth curl up or reflex. Kicking the bucket was the best thing to ever happen to me, huh? It might be the best thing that happened to me, I don't know. It can be worse than this. I'm happy like this, with people who think I'm such a good guy. He breathed until the cigarette was down to his fingers and snubbed out the remains of the bottom of his boot. Was that like a someone talking? Was that a sound effect of someone talking? Something was there. Okay. The horizon was fenced with intelligible figures, but standing there unmistakably was another person. She looked like a cloud about to blow away, her white dress below around her, and she twirled her parasol like a halo around her head. Her face was obscured by a veil of white so that every feature was as much awake by its movement. The baby's breath, the soundless sky, and now the woman. This little slice of paradise knew he was here. And now they were twisting the knife. Yeah, they mentioned that this thing like plays with your memories, right? Ross! Two pairs of hands cuff his shoulders, sooties and bashed but urgent with their grip. They were the only things preventing Ross from tumbling face first off the roof of the trolley. Yikes, that was a close one. This place is out to get me, I saw it. Maintenance better end soon. Heading the siren's call, the worry sailor leaned his ear. Down the ocean waves he fall. The holiday ward's the last day here. Hit here. Alright, I'll be careful. I'm just tired from a certain somebody tossing me around in my sleep. Sorry. No sorries allowed. For good measure, Ross reached out and ruffled the poor angel's hair. Guy has enough to worry about. So keep yourself in check, Ross. I'm going in for a while, maybe some shell do me good. He pulled himself off, stretched and used the ladder at the edge of the roof to lower himself. The grass beneath his boots greeted him with soft whisper. The woman on the horizon was gone. Trains of tops are troubling, huh? Whoa! Damn it, Sooty, how are you getting here so quiet? The Ralph demanded comment. But I must inquire, did you perhaps see anything? Just more grass, really. This is to be expected of a soul such as yours, wayward comet. It is the way of things, yes, indeed. And just as suddenly as he appeared, the unnerving creature bounced away through the doors of the trolley. His usual cloud of soot was left in his wake. Nothing was pushed any further, and for that, Ross gave a relieved sigh. Well, there's at least one person here who would still think I'm a good guy. He entered the trolley after him, grateful for the silence that ensued, but before closing the door, he heard a whooshing. The unmistakably scent of wind through fabric, with laughter to follow it. It knows I'm here. He thought I was his love on one of the benches, covering his face in his coat like a curtain. Whooshing. No, just a familiar lullaby. He pushed out the rest of the word for the song that came from the breast pocket in his only coat. Hello, traveler. You come to the end of the current build. Don't worry, more is on the way. The circle of the phantoms, the oceans of starlight, the city of shadows, and bittersweet goodbyes. You will meet them all in due time. Keep your eyes to the skies, traveler. The two lonely souls will surely find their way. And it's over. Okay, I didn't know this was a demo. Actually, in the window it says End of a Journey in big uppercase letters, demo version. Okay, I should be more. I should read on things a little more. So that's the demo version of SOREKARA End of a Journey, right? As it's customary with these kind of games, I'm gonna play the demo and I'm gonna wait until the full version is out. And I can play the full thing, right? So yeah, I'm gonna do that. I'm not gonna be playing like small updates because that takes like too much time, and lately I don't have as much time to spend in just one game, but I'm surely gonna play the full version. I want to see where this story goes. As usual with Kalechips games, the story is really nice. The characters, like, it's a character-driven story, right? So the characters are really good. They have like, everyone has their lore. It's not like straight up on your face. There's also the lore of this like space railway. So I'm enjoying this a lot. I know it's not a straight up sequel to the Milky Way game, but it's on the same universe, right? And it shares some things. I hope to see more of that. I don't think it's gonna happen, right? Because they became like candles, quote unquote. But I wish to see more of the flower girl. She's really cute. I mean, this main menu screen, really nice with the small animation. You can see the hand holding the flower, and yeah, these are eye bags. This guy really doesn't get any sleep. So yeah, very beautiful, by the way. The logo of the game, the SOREKARA, I think it's really beautifully done. I like it a lot. So what I can say about the game so far, obviously. It's quite enjoyable. I haven't seen any choices I can make, and I love choices in visual novels. Not all visual novels have to have choices, but I do like them, so I hope maybe in the full game we get to make some choices to know specific things about characters. The story is really focusing a lot on these two characters, which is totally okay because this is a yaoi game, right? And it's a romance game, it's a love story game, so it makes sense it focus on the relationship of these two characters. But I hope to see more of the walrus of the suit thing. It's one of the best characters. I love it. And I don't know. We're probably gonna meet. I'm sorry. We're probably gonna meet a lot of other characters in this game, right? So I can wait for the rest of the game. The little like pamphlets of information you get at the beginning of each like stop that this place is this, and you get to experience it. And the point and click, excellent. I love when you have point and click. It makes things more interactive, and you get like the option to know more about the world. Like if you don't want to know, you can just like click what's necessary and move on. But if you want, you get to know more about the world. I really love that click and point part. My only suggestion would be like maybe not make the animated like a start thing on the clicking points. Maybe use something else because it looks kind of out of place there. I don't know. Maybe just like a little shine maybe, and it stops shining when you can't click anymore or when there's no new interaction. Right? Because by mistake, I almost skipped like a few interactions that I wanted to see. So maybe you can make like a shining spark, and the spark stops shining when there is no new interaction, so you know when to stop clicking, because otherwise you miss stuff, right? That's my only suggestion about that part. But I love the point and click. I love it. So yeah, the story is actually really cute. You know, aside, I'm gonna let us say that I don't like smoking and I don't like seeing characters smoke. It's my personal preference. It doesn't affect the game in any kind. It's still an amazing game, and you know, it's not someone smoking on my face, so I don't really care. It's just a game, right? And it's not like the game is promoting smoke. It's just someone smoking. People smoke in real life. You can do nothing about it, right? I don't want people to think like, oh, Moriko doesn't like smoking, so he's not gonna like anything that has to do with smoking. And look, as long as you are not smoking into someone else's face or like in a public space, I don't care if you smoke. I don't care what you do. I'm just saying, like, if you cannot smoke, it's better for everyone, actually, for the environment, for you, for the people near you. So that's what I was saying. But I don't have problems with characters smoking in games, in movies, in anime. It's just a personality trait, right? They smoke because of something. It's usually to make the character look cool, or like he smoked because he's like he has a lot of problems, right? And that's how he copes with it. So it makes a lot of sense. I don't want anything changed of what I've seen in this game. I'm not pushing for changing stuff. I was just mentioning that I don't really like smoke, because if I have a chance to tell people to don't smoke, I'm gonna take it, right? So that's all. So yeah, I think a very beautiful game, very beautiful soundtrack. It looks amazing. I love how this game has a bunch of CG. It has a lot of backgrounds, a lot of little character illustrations, like a lot of chibis. That's a lot of work put into the game, and I can't really appreciate that, because sometimes visual novels don't put too much effort into the visual and put more effort into the novel part. And it's good reading a lot, right? But sometimes it's better to see the characters hugging each other, even if it's like one image and then it switched to another, like a slideshow, right? Like there's two characters and then appears another one. It's better than saying this character hugged this character, and you don't see it, right? And if it's something important, it's better to see it. That's the point of visual novels. So yeah, this game is making an incredible job at that. Again, my only suggestions would be more point and click segments, and the little switch on the prompt, right, for point and clicking. Aside from that, I don't see anything that I would say it's a problem. I didn't found any bugs or like typos. So yeah, it's still very like beautifully written, like usual with Kalechips games. So yeah, if you guys want to play this game and experience it for yourself at your own pace, the link will be down in the description with all the games I have played. This one doesn't have choices quite yet, so it's gonna be like the same ride, but I always recommend you guys to experience the games for yourselves. And we'll see each other at the full game, right? Hopefully, we don't have to wait too long, but I will wait what's necessary to have the full version of this game. So thank you guys for watching. Thank you, developer, for making the game a good one as usual. I will see you guys in the next indie game, stream, or whatever. See you later.